Hello and welcome to the Screencast about writing formulas for transformations. In our previous study of transformations, we looked at the parent function y equals f of x, and we represented a transformation of f of x with this new function g of x, such that g of x equals a times f of x minus b plus c. We saw that the parameter b represents horizontal shifts in the graph of f, while parameter c represents vertical shifts and parameter a represents vertical stretches and reflections across the x-axis. We also saw that order matters when we perform transformations, and specifically we saw that vertical shifts are always the last transformation to be applied. So let's take what we've learned about transformations and practice writing formulas to represent them. So here's our first example. Consider the function h of x equals the square root of x. Determine a formula for the function that is given by f of x equals 2 times h of x minus 3 plus 1. How is f a transformation of h? So we're going to start with h of x minus 3, and this is actually related to the concept of composition that we studied previously. We know that h of x is equal to the square root of x, so if we want to find h of x minus 3, we are going to replace the x in the square root of x with the quantity x minus 3. So h of x minus 3 will equal the square root of x minus 3. And from there, the function f of x tells us to take 2 times h of x minus 3 plus 1. So we can substitute what we just found for h of x minus 3, which is the square root of x minus 3, and then add 1. So f of x equals 2 times the square root of x minus 3 plus 1. So the second part of this question asked, how is f a transformation of h? And so we can say f is the result of applying the following transformations to h, and I'm going to emphasize in this order because remember, order matters. Right? So first, we're going to look at what's happening inside the function, and we see that there's this minus 3, and that tells us that h was transformed by applying a horizontal shift right 3 units. Second, we look at the multiplication times 2, so that tells us there was a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. And then lastly, always last is our vertical shift, so that plus 1 tells us there is a vertical shift applied up 1. All right, let's look at one more example. Find a formula for a function p of x in terms of w graphed below that represents this transformation of w. A horizontal shift left 2.5 units, reflection across y equals 0, which keep in mind is the x-axis, a vertical compression by a factor of 1/3, and a vertical shift down 4 units. So if we're finding p of x in terms of w, we would have p of x equals a times w of x minus b plus c, where parameters a, b, and c represent the various transformations we've discussed. Now would be a good time to pause the video and try to finish this question, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so we know that the parameter a accounts for reflections across the y-axis and vertical compressions by a factor of 1/3. So we know that P of x could equal negative 1/3. The negative accounts for the reflection across y equals 0, and the 1/3 would be a compression by a factor of 1/3. We know that the parameter b is responsible for horizontal shifts left and right, and we know that if the graph is shifted left, then we're going to represent that by a b value less than 0. So we're going to say x minus a negative 2.5. And then we know that parameter c is responsible for the vertical shift down 4 units. So we'll actually say minus 4. And then our last step would be to simplify this. So we would have 1/3 times w of x plus 2.5 minus 4. And this would represent the function p of x in terms of the function w that represents the given transformations.